if there's a married couple and they don't have evolutionary insights into their relationship and their values and preferences and what drives their reactions, I think, like, why would you handicap yourself that way? Like, it's really sad. You'd be much better to go back to, like, read The Moral Animal by Robert Wright rather than go to marital therapy. Like, do both, but Jesus, read something about human nature if you really care about your relationship.
What do you wish more married couples knew?
I wish more married couples knew that you don't have to take your emotional reactions nearly as seriously as you typically do. For example, a lot of people think, okay, I know I'm not supposed to, like, hit my spouse. I'm not supposed to do physical violence to my spouse. And so if I have an impulse to do that, I have to control that. That's not civilized. That's bad. However, there's a lot of other reactions we have that are basically what economists call punishment routines. Like, somebody else does something that pisses you off, right? And you have a reaction to punish them, to give some negative reinforcement. This can range from I want to hit them to I want to cuss at them to I don't want to talk to them for a day to I want to complain about them to my friends or, God forbid, on social media. Those are all punishment routines. The instinct to want to punish them, even over something that's maybe objectively trivial, can be very strong. But we have this double standard where, like, we go, okay, physical punishment, that's super bad. We don't do that in a civilized marriage. But all these other things, right, are still considered kind of fair game, even if they're objectively like a massive overreaction to what actually happened. I think conversely, if you understand, like, why we want to punish our mate for certain, like, transgressions, then you can actually play with that. Like, you can make it funny. You can kind of playfully exaggerate it.
Give me an example.
My wife Diane and I do this all the time. Like, if she's pissed off at me for whatever, failing to do something in the kitchen, instead of taking it seriously and going, "Oh my God, Geoffrey, you suck. You're such a bad husband," she'll start, like, mouthing nonsense syllables, but in an angry way, in kind of a self-mocking way. And so she'll be like, and then I'll start arguing back using, like, my defensive, like, nonsense syllables, like, why can we do that? Because we're both evolutionary psychologists, and we both know at some level the desire to overpunish for trivial stuff is just ridiculous. And if you understand how ridiculous it can be, then you can make fun of your own reactions. And then you're actually, like, closer to each other. Because, like, I have the faith that she has enough self-insight that she can mock her own, like, feminine responses.
Programming, yeah.
And she has confidence I have enough insight into my sort of masculine nature and programming that I can make fun of it. And by contrast, you go to marital therapy, and most therapists will be like, you all have to be 100% earnest all the time about your feelings, and you have to take your feelings seriously and, like, express them and work through them and talk it out. It's like,
so
no.
Diana, if you were angry that Geoffrey had used the sauce and not put it away, and you felt upset about it, then this is justified. We do not have any unjustified feelings in this. That's fucking interesting. I've never been to counseling, but I imagine in movies where I've seen it, that's what they do.
Yeah, and there's very few good role models in movies or TV about how to manage these things. Like, you'll almost never see somebody in a serious adult drama actually make fun of their own reactions in a kind of wise and insightful way.
The only time that you would ever see it is kind of the ditzy female, classic American ditzy suburbs, early 30s, still not married, like wine aunt type, lovable like always the bridesmaid, never the bride type one. Like, oh, here I go again, losing my shit about something that doesn't really matter, which is kind of touching. The reason that people laugh at it is the fact that they know there is a compulsion that is a part of her programming that if she had all of her rational capabilities, she might dial that back. She might tamp that down a little bit. It's just that you try to turn that up to 11.
Yeah, so those are two big takeaways. Like, try to have some insight into yourself and then try to be playful with it.
What's happening, people? If you enjoyed that, then press here for the full, unedited episode. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.